Greetings Exile and welcome to yet another League Start build guide. Do you want to play a build that causes carpal tunnel if you do not change your key bindings? Do you want to play a miner that is no saboteur and even outclasses that meta miner ascendancy? Then the chain focused Icicle mine Deadeye might just be the build you are looking for. This build combines the agility and projectile focused Ascendancy Deadeye with the best clearing mine skill to create a monster when it comes to mapping and even single target. Deadeye and certain uniques that focus on chains will make your clear speed ridiculously fast, while maintaining a strong single target DPS, especially against phased bosses that allow you to prepare your mines. There are two main weaknesses in this build. The first is the fact that you can get one shot quite easily since it's tough to get above 5k life, and you're relying on evasion and dodge without strong leech. The other one is the mine mechanic itself, which means that you cannot deal damage immediately. You have to place the mines, then detonate them in sequence. That delay can kill you in some situations. This pretty much sums up the playstyle already. Place mines, detonate them, enemies die, and then you move on. On tough enemies and bosses, try to stack a few mines before detonating them, and also use a Stormbrand for curse and life leech. If the situation allows to get a little bit closer, then also place a vortex below the target to increase the cold damage they take. Before you reach endgame and the big bosses, you have to level up your character first. This can be extremely hard if you don't have a friend or somebody to trade you the Icicle mine gem at level 12. So ask a shadow in local, global or a trade chat if you can agree on a trade. To actually reach level 12, you can literally play anything. I liked playing Explosive Trap. Once you reach level 28, consider taking a Pyroclast mine. It deals a lot more damage, especially against single targets. Icicle mine really starts to shine once you got your ascendancies and chain items and maps. Character leveling progression trees can be found in the PoE provided in the video description. Just select them from the bottom left drop down menu and you're good to go. In the Bandit quest, I suggest you help Alira. Resistances and mana regen, especially while leveling, feel really good. And since the build scales with crit, the crit multi is also welcome. As Ascendancy Progression, go for Gathering Winds first. This is a huge evasion and movement speed buff due to Tailwind. The second node, Farshad, is not too important, so you don't have to pick it up right away. The projectile speed helps you clearing potential on Icicle mine, but it's not a big deal early on. When the build really starts to get good is when you pick your third Ascendancy, Ricochet. The additional chain and more damage per chain will skyrocket your clear speed. As last node, pick up Endless Munitions. The additional projectile means better clearing and the area of effect helps keeping up debuffs on fast moving enemies. Let's have a look at the gear now. The only specific items are the Gloomfang Amulet and the Snake Pit Ring, which can be rare early into the league. Both grant you some valuable chain modifiers without any negatives. Since it's not directly your spell that hits enemies, you won't lose life from the Gloomfang effect. And as long as the Snake Pit is in the right ring slot, all stats are positive or don't have any effect. I used two Doriani's Catalyst as weapons. Those can be quite expensive early into the league. Instead, you can take either wands or scepters or one of those with a shield. Try to get spell damage, spell crit, cold damage to spells, and what would be extremely OP, +1 to cold skills. I will include an example of a rare wand in the PoE down in the video description. Talking about rare gear, your first priority should be to reach the 75% resistance cap on every elemental resistance, as well as getting all base stats like dexterity to the necessary amount. After that, get as much life as possible. Don't forget to get movement speed on your boots as well. Also, if you can, get evasion and chaos resistance. Evasion is our secondary defense after life in this build. You might also want to craft some mana regen somewhere, but that's up to you. The best stats on your jewels are life or critical strike multiplier, depending if you want offense or defense. Other options are shown on the screen right now. Let's have a look at the flasks. There are a lot of options in this build. An instant life flask though is never a bad idea. I also like a mana flask to be able to quickly regen mana while and after your mines detonate. Either saturated or eternal mods are mandatory. Just like on every crit build, a huge damage boost comes from a diamond flask. You cannot get onslaught on kill in this build since it's not directly you who does the killing. A silver flask will help you out. But onslaught is not too important, so it's just nice to have. If you feel like you need more damage, then you can also change the silver flask for a wise oak. Make sure your uncapped cold resistance is higher or equal to your other uncapped elemental resistances. To move even faster, take a quicksilver flask. The build evolves around map clearing, so we take all the utility we can get. Also, make sure to get bleed, freeze and curse immunity on your magic flasks. You can check the flasks and all other gear I just talked about in the PoE provided in the video description. Here are some examples of anointments I suggest. Feel free to use any other anointment depending on your needs. I do not want to go over those since they pretty much represent the stats we want on rare gear and jewels and thus are self-explanatory, so maybe pause the video to have a closer look. Let's have a look at the skills now. First of all, you have to understand that placed mines have a mana reservation. That would mean when we stack as many mines as possible, we wouldn't be able to use any other skills like Flame Dash, and thus would be vulnerable to any kind of attacks. To counter that, we take Eldritch Battery on the passive tree, so even if all mana is reserved, Flame Dash can still be used. Charged mines within the main link grants frenzy and power charges. PoE doesn't say it's extremely strong, but trust me, it is. Minefield lets us place a lot of more mines within the same amount of time. And you want many mines on the ground because the more, the stronger the chain will get and the easier it is to keep the chain going. The other supports are pure damage. I just talked about that mines reserve mana. This is the main reason why we are only running 60% mana reservation skills and a level 1 precision, all linked to an Enlighten. This way we have a bigger mana pool to be reserved by more mines. Flesh and Stone provides a strong toughness boost, and Skitterbots chill enemies to make them slower and shock them, to take increased damage while also granting more mine damage. The Stormbrand in this setup is highly valuable only against bosses, to curse them for a huge damage boost and to leech some life. To even further enhance the damage and survivability, we are using a Vortex linked to Bone Chill and Unbound Ailments. The Vortex chills enemies within the area, Unbound Ailments increases that chill, and the Bone Chill makes all enemies that are chilled by that area take increased damage the more they are chilled. A cast my damage taken setup with Frost Bump and Skill Sim provides offensive and defensive traits. Depending on if you are mapping or bossing, you might want to change your support gem. In your main skill setup, take Chain while mapping. It really helps increasing your clear speed. Once you reach the boss, you want to place the Stormbrand and Vortex below the boss if the situation allows you to get close. And also while bossing, change your main link from Chain to Hypothermia. The rest stays the same in both scenarios. And now last, Pantheon. I like Briankin because stun is the thing that killed me the most on that build. Garokana as miner is my go-to because of the additional dodge in sticky situations and movement speed while mapping. If you like this video, then please leave a like and subscribe to my channel for new and updated content. If however you dislike this video, then please tell me why. I really care about improving. Questions? You can ask down in the comments or on my Twitch stream. I'm not on the schedule, but you can ask me any questions there when I'm live. Link is down in the video description. I also have a lot of guides on my channel, not only build guides but also knowledge guides, so make sure to check them out as well. I hope you're having a great day, thank you very much for watching, I am Jay and I'm out.